When we see certain signs of dysfunction, such as acne, or sometimes being in the sun, we will think about protecting the skin. But what people are oftentimes not thinking about is the totality of the skin. It's the largest organ in the body.
Which most people don't realize it's an organ.
That's right.
So we think of liver, we think of kidneys, but the skin is the largest organ.
That's right. And what an organ essentially is it's just it's a level of organization. It's a system. And the skin happens to be intimately connected to the nervous system. In fact, you could almost make the argument that the skin in the nervous system, not almost, you can, in fact I will make the argument right now, that the skin and the nervous system are one and the same. There's no clear boundary between these two systems. Wow. If you look back to the origin of the skin and the nervous system, they come from the same cell type, the same layer of cells during embryonic development. And so there's three different main, without getting too much into embryology, which is kind of a complex topic, but there's three main cell types that we start with that go on to differentiate to form all of the different cell types in our bodies, which there's innumerable. However, so this, the nervous system and the skin have that common origin, which is important because then when we look at the full development and when the body is finished and we have the skin encasing all
holding us in
forming this real the interface. It's like this primary interface with the outer world, and every square inch, the entire surface area, that's a better way of saying it, the entire surface area of the skin has nerve endings. So there you go. When you look at, because the sensory, if you look at that sensory piece, is that we have the nerve endings, and that's what allows us to know where we are in space. It's really that one of the key senses interaction. So
I was reading something last night about the senses, as a matter of fact, and one of the things that they said was this physician said that you could actually look at the skin and touch as the archetype of all the senses, which is really it was an interesting statement that he had made.
That is. So, yeah, that is. I could see that being, I could see some truth in that, if maybe we look at the main senses being like hearing, vision, smell, taste, and then touch. Those would be the main five.
Yeah.
And, you get rid of any one of the others, and you can still interact with the world. The other senses will pick up the slack and sharpen. But if you think about, if you got rid of the skin with that sensory touch,
not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would really be, it seems like that would create a lot more isolation.